Music is everywhere. It's on TV, it's in the movies, it's in your car. It's everywhere. It is the universal language, but it's not just the universal language for what we hear and interpret. It's how you read it. All those little black dots have meaning, and they come from history. These monks from who served under Pope Gregory, they needed a way to write out their Gregorian chants. So what they did was they wrote out the lyrics and put little dots on top of them, and you would just follow the bouncing ball, and they would just continue on. So they would have their chants, which I can't read this language, but I can probably follow some dots. Who knows? But they decided to write it out, and that's what they did. Then, this man by the name of Guido de Arezzo was around 1000 AD. He decided that if we put little lines and put the little dots everywhere on them, then we could read and write the music. So here is a chant that I decided to write since I can't read Latin. I admit I can't. We humbly greet thee, O Arezzo lover, organizer of Pechakucha Orlando. Guido said, well, let's write all that out. And they decided to put every dot on a space or a line. And then they would keep going up. And then he decided to add solfege, which is the do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Let's map the human voice. And if you start, you realize that those 4 lines became 11. And it just keeps going up for the human voice. When you assign a pitch to all of those, the do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, si, do, now in America we call it the musical alphabet of A, B, C, D, E, F, G. If you start on G and go up, in the very middle you'll find C, which is also known as do. Middle do is on the middle line of the grand staff. It's not the middle note of the piano. The piano came much later. So it's the middle line of the grand staff, but that's still impossible to read. Even for musicians, this is impossible. So what they decided to do was let's split it. 5 lines on top, 5 lines on bottom, use the middle line when we need it, go 2 lines up from the middle, and you suddenly have sol, which a cursive letter S became the treble clef. You go 2 lines down from the middle C, you get an F, fa, which the cursive letter F became the bass clef. There's this other clef in the middle called the alto clef, which is kind of a strange one, but it is used for the viola every day. So do became the C clef, also known as the alto clef. Fa became the F clef, or the bass clef, and sol became the G clef, or the treble clef. That's the one most people are used to seeing with music, or the treble and bass clef, but they're still put on the staff. But that's why all the letters are different. You have to think of it like one continuous long staff with middle C in the middle. Well, now the composers had a way to write out all of their music. So, wow, let's make it as hard as possible. Now you have all this music, and you have ways to read it, and you have ways to share it. But did you know that you can still read it even if you're in a foreign country? Even in China, for example, this is the China national anthem. I can't read a word of Chinese. I admit I can't. But I can read every note on that staff because it is a standard language. Music is universal language because of the notation. And it became that way because of missionaries. Missionaries not only shared their religion, of course, but when they went into an area, they shared their culture and what they learned, which included how to read and write music. And they took the folk songs of an area and put them in writing so that they could still be passed down for generation to generation. So we're back to our Pechakucha Chant. We humbly greet thee, O Arezzo lover, organizer of Pechakucha Orlando. Now it's your turn because you can now read music too. Here we go. We humbly greet thee, O Eddie Salaver, organizer of Pechakucha Orlando. Bravo, good job. But music itself has been able to go across the world, not just with if you take a melody and some lyrics, now suddenly it expresses that which cannot be said and what is impossible to keep silent. This is a picture of a Metallica concert in Shanghai. Then music transcends the notes on the page or even the lyrics, and then suddenly all you're left with is no more dots.